Natukunda. I work as sponsor a student associate based in Uganda at the field office Kambuga Kanungu. Basically, my role in this sponsorship role is to make sure I emphasize communication between sponsors and students, whereby I do it in this way, collecting pieces of letters, different ones at different intervals, do scan, upload them in the Dropbox, also receive personal letters from sponsors. I make sure I deliver them to students and students reply, and also get some thank you videos to send to new sponsors who are able to sponsor new students as a form of welcome to them. My story before joining Nyaka was a story which was so horrible, which was so overwhelming. Before joining Nyaka, life was not easy at the moment, whereby I was born with 6 siblings. My father died when I was 1 year old, so I don't know my father. So we grew up in a life of struggling with our mother, who could not afford all the basic needs for all the 6 children. So we decided we can struggle for ourselves, because our mother, neither our relatives could support her. So I and my siblings, we could go work for a certain rich man in our area, whereby each day I would be paid 500 shillings. So every day I would go at 8 a.m. I would leave the place for the rich man at 5 p.m., whereby I would do a number of many chores: weeding, collecting firewood, fetching water, taking his animals to get water. At the end, he pays me 500 shillings. So I said, I can keep on saving 500. Like for 2 weeks, I'm in holidays, I can be able to buy a book for myself, buy a uniform for myself, buy maybe a t-shirt to use when I'm away from school. So life was not easy. We struggled, I and my siblings. My siblings were older than me, so they would get like 700. Since I was a little one, I would get 500. So that money, I made sure I saved it. During holidays, we would go and work for him. We get less pay, but we would do many tasks in a single day. But we had no option. We had to accept the situation. Our mother cannot afford to take care of us. So we thought another way how we could survive. So that's the life we lived before joining Nyaka. Life was not easy. We would struggle to get each and everything. If you want a shoe, you would struggle and you find you cannot get it. But we would use that money to buy a pen, a book, other scholastic materials. We are able to provide them for ourselves, because we never had relatives to support us. Before joining Nyaka, life was not easy. I hated myself at some extent, because I saw myself and my siblings suffering compared to other children who had their parents. So when I joined Nyaka, I saw light in my life. When I joined Nyaka, I was able to get free education, and which was a quality one. I was able to get school uniform. I was able to get lunch. I was able to get breakfast, of which those I have never gotten them in any school. When I was in other schools, during lunchtime, we would just go out and have oxygen as your lunch. You find at times you never had food from home. Food was not enough, so you would not expect to pack some food to eat at lunch. So I became used to the situation. But when I joined Nyaka, life was easy and was enjoyable. I got everything in my life. I'd never put on a shoe. I was able to get school uniform shoes. It was so amazing. That's when I got myself first shoes at Nyaka. So I got everything at Nyaka. I got clothes. I got love because I never had a father. I got a father, Dr. Tosije Jackson Kabul, who took care of me. So at the moment, I feel myself, I am no longer an orphan. So through Nyaka Primary School, I was able to excel well. I got my first grade of 11 aggregates. I went to Shaka Advanced School where I did senior 1 up to senior 4. At the end of my national exams, I was able to get 34 aggregates. After senior 4, I came back to Kamungu. I joined Bishop Komboni College where I did a combination of history, economics, divinity, whereby at the end of senior 6, I got 15 points. When I got those 15 points, I was so excited because now I knew I was able to join a university. So I went to Makerere University Business School where I did a course of business administration. My time was devoted to books. At the end of 3 years, I graduated. When I looked at my classmates who had everything they had, guys enjoyed life at school, but me, I knew my background. As I was going, I kept on reflecting where I am coming from. So that's the thing that gave me motivation to read hard. My background encouraged me to stay focused with my books. I did my best at the university, never dodged any class. Whether I would be sick, I would make sure as long as I can stand and walk, I would go and make sure I don't miss any lecture. So I was determined, focused. That's why I was able to complete my course within 3 years and graduated. My classmates, those who had things, so they were not focused. So at the end, they never graduated with me because they devoted much of their time in things that cannot yield something important out of it. So they had to repeat, but me, I graduated smoothly and I came back to work with Nyaka. I was so excited because when I was graduating, I asked myself, yes, you have completed your studies. Now, what is the next step? Where am I going to from here? How is life going to be? You have been receiving allowance, having everything you needed. Since now you are completing, where are you going now? It puzzled me, it gave me a hard time when we were graduating, but God had my prayers. I was able to get a job with Nyaka. I am so excited to working with Nyaka because I am back home. I have to give back to Nyaka because if it was not Nyaka, and even today, if it is not Nyaka, I would be nowhere. So I still thank Nyaka for the wonderful work they did to me from childhood up to this time. So I'm whom I am today. Because of Nyaka, I thank all the stakeholders, the director, and all the sponsors. You did a good job through my childhood. That history would not be over if I never had you. Still, I would be in that history of struggling, but now I am a happy man. I am so focused. I now like how things are going, what change happened in my life. I am so excited. Growing without a father and you reach at an extent and you feel you are no longer an orphan. That's the work that Nyaka did to me and to me. I am a pioneer student. Being a pioneer student of Nyaka, it always excites me because I am able to, during the course of my school, I followed the right steps. The reason why the Nyaka school started, I think many years ago, many pupils around Nyaka were struggling. So the director looked at how the students in the villages were struggling, the little ones were struggling with no school fees. So he got a vision to start a primary school. So my mother did not hesitate. So she brought me to Nyaka Primary School because when she had the news that the school that is going to pay free education to the orphans is in existence, she never hesitated because she realized if she does not take that chance, my hopes of studying were now shattered. So she took an extra mile. She brought me to Nyaka Primary. I was accepted because from the start, the parents were given hopes that once your pupil is registered under Nyaka, that pupil is going to study until the pupil says, I am now done with education, or if you don't make it to another level, fine, but we are given light. You can study until whether you want to have a degree, whether you want to have masters, whether you want to have a PhD. So my mother never hesitated. So I was able to start as a pioneer student, which gave me motivation to use the chance. So it makes me proud that we also made the founder proud because we fulfilled his vision. See the pupils who were orphans struggling with school fees, they are now living a happy life. They are able to take care of themselves, be able to buy a shirt for themselves, be able to put on a shoe they never had before. So I was happy to be among the beneficiaries for the Nyaka project. I am able now to, I have my own family, I have a wife, I have a daughter, so I can see the great transformation the director did from childhood time. He took care of me. I am now a big man who have responsibilities. So it makes me proud when I see the little ones in nursery class, 6 years old. So me as a pioneer student, I have to make sure I become the light. I become the hopes for them. I should make sure they know I was once like them, such that it gives them focus. They say also Denis was young like us, studied from the same school, is now working. So I want them to feel hopeful that the life they are living at any time, it can change. They know I was once sitting in the same seats they are using, eating the same food they are eating, studying from the same school, the same desks, they are the same necessities, the same basic needs I got, which they are getting, and they will keep on believing one day we can make it. I am so happy when I see other sisters, other young brothers excelling, joining universities, getting jobs. It excites me because when we focus the life before joining the organization, life was not easy. And we imagine at some time if this organization was not in place, where would we be? So I am so happy when I see other students following me. They are graduating, they are getting jobs, the young sisters are getting married, my fellow brothers are also getting married. at some point. So when we see that transition of the students, life after university, how they are living a life after school, when they are well, I am also happy, because being the pioneer student, some of the primary students, they cannot believe maybe we are also in primary. They think we just joined university, but I always talk to them, encourage them. I was here, you will also make it. If I made it, you will also make it. So don't lose hope. Whatever you are doing, you always believe everything is possible. The importance of sponsorship, it is so wonderful to have people looking after us, because we grew up, we never had a good life, we never had hopes for education. So this sponsorship is so vital in our lives. Take a look at me. The sponsors did a good job. They made sure I am who I am today. So I am so happy that the sponsors did a job of educating me, providing everything to me, and making sure I graduate. It is something good in my life. The importance of seeing other students benefiting from this scholarship, I encourage sponsors to keep supporting the students, because all the hopes from the students are in them. They are able to get what they want, get school fees, get scholastic materials. They are able to get all the necessities they need. So without this sponsorship, our students cannot make it in life. So it is important to appreciate them and to tell them that this job they are doing is appreciated. So when a student is sponsored, the student has hopes that I'll make it to a university, be a better person, be a doctor, be an engineer, be a lawyer. A student can be able to be what he or she wants, provided they know I am going to be sponsored. So the sponsorship, the vital role of it, it brings hopes to students. It brings morale to students to study. You know, a student cannot settle when he or she knows at any time they are going to chase me away from school. But our students are sponsored, they have hopes now, they are settled, they feel loved, they feel there's nothing that can hinder them from excelling at any levels they want. So this sponsorship is so important to the students. They feel they are loved, they have people they can talk to, they have people that are supportive to them, they have people they can communicate, hear from them, they have people who can travel, come visit them, they are their parents, they are their relatives, uncles. So the students will keep on working hard, reading harder, staying focused, because there is nothing that can shake them. They know the sponsorship is there. They are going to study well, read hard, excel, be anything they want to be. So having this sponsorship in place, it restores faith, patience in students, because they are going to be patient, waiting. At some time they can complete their studies. So if they know there is no sponsorship, the students can lose morale. Maybe a student can ask himself or herself, why am I in school? Because I don't have school fees. But our students, when we compare them to other students in other schools, there is a different change. Our students know they are sponsored, they have caring sponsors, They have loving sponsors who love them so much, caring sponsors who are so supportive. So it lifts strength in them to stay in school. They don't want to miss this chance of studying because they have people who are there sacrificing money for them, sacrificing all the resources for them to study. So the students will continue to read hard, finish primary, finish secondary, go to vocational institutions, go to university institutions. They can be who they want to be because they know there is sponsorship in place. So it is very vital to have this sponsorship. I am so happy when I take an example how I have benefited from this sponsorship. Other pupils following me will also benefit, live a happy life, and they forget the hard life they passed through before joining Nyaka. What I wish for Nyaka and other 20 years ahead is to see it prospering, having many achievements, having many students graduating, having many students working, students prospering in the 20 years coming ahead.